And welcome back to Western New York Living. When anyone mentions the word Motown music, it conjures up beat and soul that was distinct and unique to the city it was born in, and that is the newest production at the Paul Robeson Theater called Detroit 67. Take us back to a time when Detroit was changing and so was the music. Here to tell us more about a wonderful show is the director Aaron Moss and actor Gary Kai Fletcher. Guys, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having us on the show.
All right, so let's start right with it, Aaron. This production opened up last weekend. The production's story of Detroit 67.
Detroit 67 takes place in Detroit, Michigan during the riots of 1967, which not a lot of people know about. They're familiar with the riots of 1968. But it's about a brother and sister, Shell and Lank, who run an after-hours joint in their basement. And it was very illegal at this time. The story really is about progress. Lank wants progress. He wants to open his own joint and be legitimate, right? Have a real bar, whereas Michelle just wants, you know, for them to get through, make a couple bucks, and then be done with it.
And Lank is played by
Mr. Gary K. Fletcher.
And Gary, your first name is Gary Kai, right? And that's we were talking about what a cool name that was. From New York City, tell me a little bit about this production and what your role is in it.
I am fortunate enough to be playing the role of Lank, and I think there's a little bit of Lank in everybody. I don't want to sit there and say that the play is universal in its theme, but I think a lot of people can relate to Lank. He's a dreamer. He wants more, and I think despite his different viewpoint and his worldview in comparison to his sister, I think that's the one thing that he really latches on to.
So this kind of brings out the dreamer in all of us.
I think so.
I like that. Aaron, what type of audience is this show for? Who should go?
I think this show will appeal to anyone who loves history, anyone who loves Motown music. I think anyone who is a dreamer and often forgets to dream.
And in terms of the research that went into this production, how true is it to the times of 1967 Detroit, Michigan?
I think it's very accurate. The playwright, in just reading some of the interviews that she's done, she very much took stories from her family and infused those into the production, into the text. So I think a lot of the things that we see in terms of this play and this plot, we see that it evolves and revolves around what happened in those days.
When you see this show, you have almost a week under your belt now, so you've got the first weekend done. How have audience reacted to it?
Oh, great. It's funny to sit in the back and just, as a director, you want to see how people are responding to see if it plays out the way that you thought it would, and it absolutely has. People have been laughing where you expect it. So because the riots are taking place in the backdrop of the play, I want the audience to know that when they come, they can expect a good time.
Right.
It's still funny and fun.
I love that. I love you've got a show tonight at 8 o'clock, and then you do the talkbacks on Sunday. Have the questions been fun so far for both of you?
Oh, I think so.
I think so. I think so. A lot of people, they want to know what it is that brought us, all together to this project, and just a lot about our process.
And the cool thing is the Paul Robeson Theater is such a gem here in Western New York. You guys aren't from this area. You're from big cities, then you came back to do this production. Where are you living now?
Yeah, I'm living in North Buffalo.
Nice,
so,
okay.
Parkside.
And are you enjoying it?
I am, yeah.
Good.
I'm from Baltimore, Charm City, and I think Buffalo has a lot of charm.
And Baltimore too?
I mean, yeah, in some ways. I've kind of been all over the place, Baltimore, New York, D.C. So,
love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We'll break a leg on this show for the rest of the production, I guess I should say, right?
Yeah.
And we can't wait to see it. Hopefully you get great reviews.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you enjoy great local theater productions and you've got the time to get out, go and see Detroit 67 at the Paul Robeson Theater. On stage now until May 29th, and it's a wonderful story set in the unrest of Detroit in 1967. Features many classic Motown tunes. Showtimes Friday and Saturday night, 8 p.m. Sunday matinee starting at 4 with my favorite, that audience talkback after the show. Find out more to purchase your tickets. Head out to their website, which is aaccbuffalo.com, or call 884-2013.